Hello and welcome everyone to today's Vast Tech Talk episode. My name is Andreas Breckheimer and today we're going to talk about SAP MDI, Master Data Integration. So let's see what we have today. First of all, what is MDI? What is MDO? And what is MDG? What are all these terms that are floating around? So we will clarify on terminology. Second, we will have the guiding principles of the solution, introducing the three core features of the solution and what it offers for you. Speaking of features, that will be our third part. We will introduce the minor features that are very important for the solution to work, that will allow you to customize it and prepare it for your needs. And last but not least, we will have examples and diagrams for you to understand how this would work in a complex environment. What is MDI? Master Data Integration is a replication engine for your master data sitting in the SAP BTP. Now, it is important to understand it provides you a consistent view of master data for the business. So every system is talking about the same master data in the same state at the same time. This is very important and it allows you to have one central integration point rather than having different point-to-point integrations. This we will show later also in one of the guiding principles. What is MDO? Master Data Orchestration is about the distribution of the processing data. It allows you as a configuration UI of MDI to define how data models are being handled, how they are being distributed, and also how the ownership is being handled on these. And also it offers capabilities of monitoring and error resolution. Master Data Governance, or MDG, is part of the integration suite sitting in the SAP BTP. So it is eventually also already known to you, as it was also available in the S4 solution and still is. It is there to improve and process your master data and the related quality of it. So you can deduplicate, you can cleansing data, you can enrich data, and you have workflow validation that could happen on the data. This combined with MDI is a very powerful tool to overall improve your master data management. Now, let's talk about the guiding principles. In core, there are three guiding principles. The first one is the central integration point. What you can see here in the picture is the old way of having multiple point-to-point integrations. Eventually, you will have a CPI in the middle sitting there to take care of a few flows, but overall, it is always connection between different systems point to point. Now, MDI is the changer here. MDI serves as the one central integration point. So you only have to integrate all the systems towards MDI, and then you can control the flow of the data within MDI to the different systems that you have connected to MDI. How it is being working, that's the second guiding principle. It's the one domain model. So it allows to use a compatibility layer for all the different SAP solutions, plus having CPI as the helper here, you can also connect to third-party solutions, of course. It is very, very powerful and serves as a so-called lingua franca, as a domain model that is understandable by every system that is being integrated within the SAP environment. Here, you can see an example of how the master data one domain model would look like. And this shows the example of the business partner. You can check it out in the SAP Business Hub link that we have put also here in this slide. Now, the third guiding principle is out-of-the-box integration. Because it is very standardized and we do have different flows that are actually all the same in different scenarios, these are there from SAP out of the box for you to use them as you go and set up the system. This empowers you to make the setup much quicker and easier, having a documented step-by-step approach delivered by SAP. Now, let's talk about how the out-of-the-box integration would look like. Here in this diagram, you can see one example of many that you also can, of course, explore in the SAP API Business Hub. Now let's talk about the features. The features we have here in total are 4 different major features that help you to orchestrate all your data. First of all, extensibility is a must. You have to do your own extensibility on the standard one domain model. Otherwise, how would you even take care of all the custom fields that you might have here? Now, extensibility can be done as a core feature of MDI. So you can add your own fields, you can manage the different data types, and also any information that is to be added here. It's very easily possible through MDO basically. Then we have optimistic locking, meaning with the version ID of every change that you're sending towards MDI, MDI takes care that no dirty writing is happening on the data, keeping the data always clean, always consistent for every system. Third feature is the filtering. There are two different ways of filtering. One is the instance filtering, which controls which client receiving data. The second is the segment filtering to say which attribute flows into which system. We will see that a bit more in a later slide. It is important to understand that the filtering controls for you the flow to know which system gets which data, because even if a field might be in the one domain model or in your customized one domain model, it not necessarily has to go to every system. So this is where the filtering is reducing the data to its very core as it's needed in the target system. Fourth feature here is the data protection and privacy. Of course, all these happens under the umbrella of the SAP security measures that has been done and provides you with access logs for reading and other connected applications to do further checks of the security. Now, we have to talk about clients. I mentioned that earlier. There are two roles of clients. Clients here means applications. So you can see S4 as a client, you can see CDP as a client, you can see Service Cloud as a client. It's all clients, and they have either the consuming client role, which means they are only consuming master data. They cannot do any create, update, or delete. They're just receiving the data from MDI. On the other hand, we have the producing client, which of course can create, update, and delete master data as they go. Now, it is also important to know when you have a producing client at the same time, it should be a consuming client, because otherwise you cannot keep track of the changes you're sending and other systems might do to your master data. So that is to be important to keep in mind, that there are these two roles, and depending on which system you're integrating, it has to serve one the other role. Now, last but not least, let's see about the examples and diagrams that we have here. This is important to know. This is the integration scenario. This is just one standard screenshot that we have taken from a standard SAP introduction. And you can see here in the center, it's Master Data Integration Services. And on top, in this example, we have Master Data Governance. We do have two applications from SAP integrated here, which is, for instance, S4 on the left side and ECC on the downside. And we have an integrated third-party application as well. There we have to use CPI in the middle, as otherwise we wouldn't be able to take care of the mapping of the different fields from the one domain model to whatever the other application would be understanding. Now, this is one example. Let's go to another example without MDG and with different systems working with each other together. We have here separated. On the right hand side, you can see the consuming clients. Here in this example, it's CQP and FSM, which all have the same own data about business partners, be it global customers or regular business partners. They are always consuming the data from master data integration, sitting in the middle. On the left-hand side, we do have the producing clients, and you can see by the arrows that it is also consuming, so producing and consuming data as we go. On the left-hand side, we have S/4HANA Cloud, which will create and receive business partners / customers. And then we do have the SAP Service Cloud, which will take care of accounts, and with that, creating one domain model business partner entities. So this resolves pretty much what we wanted to show today for you, giving you a first introduction of the SAP MDI. With that being said, I thank you for joining in and watching the episode, and I wish you a pleasant day. Goodbye.
VAS. Complex made simple.